Hi everybody, my name is Andy with eTrailer.com, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Hollywood Rack's Destination Bike Rack for two bikes on our 2015 Toyota 4Runner. So a good reason to go with a bike rack like this is if you want to stick with an affordable platform rack to carry one or two bikes. If you and a friend would just like to go to the bike trail, this is a nice light rack, and the capacity is 35 pounds per bike. So keeping that 35 per bike weight limit in mind, it is good to consider that this is good for standard bikes. This would not be good for your electric bikes or bikes that have kind of a heavier weight or a fat tire bike. Also, it is good to put the heaviest bike closer to the vehicle on this rack when you're putting your bikes on your rack. So with this bike rack, we see that we have 3 points of contact. We have straps here on either side of the wheels, and then we have a mast that is holding this together. This would not be good for a bike such as a carbon fiber bike. That is something more for a wheel-mounted bike rack, but for your standard bikes, this would be a perfect way to secure your bike to the rack. So now as we're looking at our wheel cradles, the maximum width here is 3 inches. So if you have a fat tire bike where the width would exceed 3 inches, this would not be a good fit for that. Now, removing your bike from this rack is a pretty simple procedure. What I recommend is holding on to your bike with one hand and start with the wheel strap. So as you can see, these wheel straps have a really nice release that you just kind of push down and the strap comes right out. And I'm just going to put this to the side. By the way, the straps have a cushion on there to protect the rim of your wheel, which is a nice added benefit. And then as you're continuing to hold the bike, we have another similar strap that you just push down the release, and the strap comes right off. Again, cushioned there to protect the frame of the bike. And I'm just going to lift straight up and down. So now that we have our bike taken off of our rack, let me just show you how you can put our center mast down after you remove the bike. We're just going to lift this up and move this down. And in the process, I like to be a little bit neat, and we are going to put these straps back into the latches. And I'm going to use this strap to hold down our center mast, so I don't have to worry about it flopping around. So now that we have this bike rack in this position, we have easy access to our cargo area in our 4Runner. Now, since this is a 4Runner, a nice option that this vehicle has is if you do have bikes on your rack, you can easily access it through the automatic window on the rear hatch. Now, being that the Toyota 4Runner is a long vehicle already, it is good to know the added length that this bike rack is going to add. So let me just take a measurement here from the back of the bumper to the farthest end of the bike rack, and we are sitting right at 28 inches. And then, if you're interested in knowing a little bit about ground clearance, which really you wouldn't have to worry about on this vehicle since it's sitting pretty high already, and the bike rack is sitting pretty high itself. We're sitting at about 24 inches here, and we are sitting at about 18 inches here to the bottom of your hitch. Now, if you're not going to be using your rack for a while, but you would still like to keep it on your hitch, this does have the nice option of folding up to be a little more compact. And to do that is relatively easy. You just pull this pin and unscrew this knob here. Give it a few twists here. This will come off, and it has a nice attachment there. Will hang free. Bring this up and just find the point here where that'll connect. So now that we have it in this position, let's check out our measurements and see how much room that has given us. I'm going to turn this around here, and it looks like we are right at about 17 inches. A little bit over 17 inches from the bumper to the farthest point. And then we are sitting at about 10.5 inches here. So as you can see, folding this up in a more compact position gives us quite a bit more room in the rear. Now, as you can see, we have our bike in our folded up position, and you might have some questions as to visibility with your backup camera. This Toyota 4Runner has its backup camera offset. You will see it in your backup camera while you're backing up, but it should not obscure your view. The license plate has a clear view as well, and you have clear visibility with your lights. So something that's really nice about this particular rack is this will work with a 2-inch hitch and a 1 1/4 hitch as well. It comes with its own sleeve, so it is ready to go for either one of those hitches. We have this currently in our 2-inch hitch, and it comes with a locking anti-rattle bolt as well. So of course we have our bike rack totally tightened down. And just to kind of simulate road movement, bumps and shakes and things like that, you can see that our bike rack is secure and snug to our hitch. I would recommend getting a 3/4 inch tool to tighten this down, because the one that does come with this bike rack is a little bit difficult to use, so getting one here from eTrailer would be a good pickup for you to make sure that this is secured to your hitch. So overall, this is a great bike rack if you're looking to carry 2 standard size bikes. And not only that, it's very light and it can be easily stored in a trunk or the cargo area of your SUV. If you have a carbon fiber bike, I would recommend something like a Kuat Sherpa bike rack. That is more designed to carry a carbon fiber bike such as that. So if you're looking to expand and get a similar bike rack for 4 bikes, Hollywood Racks does have a 4-bike version of this rack, very similar, just a little bit longer for 2 extra bikes. That concludes our look at the Hollywood Racks Destination Bike Rack for 2 bikes on our 2015 Toyota 4Runner. My name is Andy, and thank you for joining us today.